Okay, so good afternoon, everybody. We'll be doing is today, as you know, the title says, we'll be talking about how to build emotional intelligence and develop empathy among our preschoolers. See, it is when you talk about these two terms, of course, we would think that okay, they are too young to understand these things. They are too these preschoolers don't need all these kind of knowledge or anything. It is not about um, teaching them something. It is about inculcating these values among them. Empathy, now that you see in growing times, we know that empathy, there is it is slowly diminishing, and that's what we don't want. We want our children, the future of our of this the our future, we want them to empathize with others. We want them to empathize with their friends, family, with other things, animals. So this is what we are trying to do, is we are trying to inculcate that way of habit or way of thinking among our children. So this is where we get into uh, you know and we are going to come up with, I mean, I have anyways put in a lot of activities which can be done, in which the children also know and understand themselves. See, right now, when you see the current trends are also that the mental illnesses, there are several issues that are related to our mental state of mind have increased, and in fact people are now more aware of it. That's great, but it's increasing also, because there are so many children that I've come across. They are not able to cope up with some amount of stress. They are not able to do it, and their mental state of mind is very fragile. Our idea is that we can try and make them understand themselves, their own feelings, their own emotions, and they can also understand how to cope up with those. So let's just start. And these are our we are taking baby steps in it when it gets into preschooling. But if we try to inculcate that way of thinking or the thought process among the children, since they are still developing, we can definitely try to bring that little bit kind of a change and help them in the future. So let's just start. We are going to do is 1 minute. Yeah. So let's do the objectives of the day. The objectives of these today's session, we have, of course, why is EQ, that is emotional intelligence, important in early childhood? How to foster empathy among our young children? We'll be using, say, I will be giving you several ideas for games, some role play activities, daily routine, how to inculcate this into the daily routine, and of course we'll do the integration as well. So yes, so first and foremost, the major question is, what is emotional intelligence? Like, ये word ही कितना बड़ा है, emotional intelligence. It makes you look wow, but it is something that it is basically your ability, that how what or to recognize what you feel, how you feel, to understand why are you feeling that particular emotion, and also to cope up or manage that emotion. So this is what we want. This is what the EQ determines, or EQ is basically. uh, yeah. So basically, emotional intelligence, first and foremost, it is, as I mentioned, it is the ability to recognize your own emotions. Now, when I, right now, if I'm feeling happy, so yes, I am happy. I am recognizing that emotion. I know that, okay, I am feeling happy. Now, understand and name the emotion in yourself and others. So now I can name it that I am happy. I feel good that way. I feel cheerful. So that is the thing that I am able to relate to the emotion. I'm able to understand it. now manage it. Or why am I happy today? If you say, then I'm happy because I'm conducting a workshop, and this particular topic is really close to my heart. So I'm very happy. So that is one of the thing I'm going to manage. I'm not going to get excited about this. I'm going to manage my happiness, and I'm going to put across my what all things I want to put across to the teachers in a proper and a appropriate manner. Yes. Now, then also, what is it? There are, I was actually worried about this one particular thing, about this empathy part. When my children were young, one of them, the teacher did ask me, that ma'am, does he empathize with anybody in the house? So initially I thought, of course, he knows his brother got hurt, so he'll do something like that. But the teacher said he has to empathize with people around him. He has to show that empathy. He can't be, like this, aloof from the entire scenarios. So then we started noticing, we started realizing it, that okay, he's not able to show the way of, how to empathize towards somebody. But the moment we tried to, he got that right path and he got that little push. I think my child was, I think, 5 years old at that time. So the moment we got that, he got that little push. Okay, I can empathize, I can show if my brother is hurt, I can go and get some ice cubes for him, or I can give him water. If my mama needs something, I can do it. This is how I can show my love to them. That kind of a thing of understanding that what other person is going through. And trust me, now that child is the most affectionate child in our household. In fact, sometimes we feel, okay, did we do the right thing? That, okay, he's become so affectionate with people around him. We don't want him to get hurt when he grows up. So that's another thing. But the thing is that empathy is crucial. And luckily, the teacher recognized that he is not able to empathize with people. And that's when, that's when we could work on that proper.
उधर रिकॉर्ड हो रहा है.
Somebody is on.
Very
Somebody
good,
is
very good.
trying
So that
to
we
get
can
in touch.
listen next time also whenever we want. Yes, my mom.
Yeah, I think yes. So, second thing. So empathy, come on now, done. And now, of course, now when you are emotion, you are connected to your emotions. Then you can understand others as well. And also, this is how you'll be able to build and maintain positive relationships. This is like, I mean, this particular topic is like so much required in current times that when I was doing it, I was like, okay, this is something I can relate to it, because I'm trying to put it into my children who are relatively older than the preschoolers, but they are quite young. So they are 8 years old. So we want these things among our children, and I could completely relate to it. So that's what I'm trying to say. We keep telling the children, nudging the children, okay, you need to, remember what are positive relationships, friendships that, may affect you in a negative way. We try to help them in these ways, but this is how we can, as teachers, also work through that. Why is EQ crucial in childhood? Let's get into that for preschoolers. See, preschoolers are basically still learning to make sense of their feelings. They don't really know. In fact, I would say we adults also sometimes don't know what exactly we feel. They are preschoolers, they are young little children. So we are just trying to EQ development at this stage is in children happens in many ways. It helps also children. So if they understand that, okay, if a child is, many children would come up to and say, I miss mom, I miss this, and, they'll cry. But when they understand their emotions, they'll come and tell you that, okay, I feel sad because I'm missing my mama. Or when you are controlling, like there are children who are highly impatient, highly, in fact, I had a student who would just not want to stand in the queue. if it's going, leaving the school, if it's coming, coming inside the classroom, going for outdoor play, whatever it would be, the child wanted to just rush. He couldn't wait. But then slowly, genuinely, after that constant counseling, or after just helping him out, or after keeping him little occupied, or giving him some other kind of a responsibility, that you are the one responsible to turn off the lights and leave, come in the classroom, then he slowly, gradually started understanding, okay, you has to wait. Then when going for washing hands, he would push others, but then he understood that, okay, I have to wait. We tried, in fact, we did, one of the teachers had suggested that let's do something. When he was washing hands, we tried and we enacted, we told another Didi or somebody to just, just softly nudge him, like, okay, push him a little bit that side, so he understands how others feel. He started crying, and then we did, the teacher spoke to him, and they had she made him understand that this is how other children feel, and that's how he understood his, that he has to control these impulses. Show empathy. When your friend is hurt, or when your friend needs help, you're there to help them. Cooperating, sharing things, during the swing, they used to take turns by themselves. Like among themselves only, they'll decide that I'll do the swing for 5 to 10 minutes, and then you come. Like, they would just discuss. I mean, it would just gradually happen, but this is why it is so essential. Prepare for academic learning also. Of course, we need it in the when we go ahead for doing the higher studies, we of course need that. So this is what the why EQ is crucial. Now, why EQ, that is emotional intelligence, matters in preschool? Why does it matter? Okay, let's have a look. See, basically, it helps children to communicate their feelings instead of acting out. Okay, I'll give you a live, again, yet another example of my child. This recently happened. I couldn't find the diary in which he had written, but I wanted to share it with you all. Basically, he's not a preschooler, yes, but we would just like to, this was some solution we could help them out in this way. So if it can help the teachers, I would just like to say how they can, why is it so important. So this particular, my son Rihan, he would keep a very sorted child, very understanding, patient child, everything nice, yes. But if something triggers, like, like one moment, if he is building some blocks and his brother goes and, by mistake also he breaks it, he would throw a tantrum that would go on for 20 to 25 minutes, wherein he would just shriek, yell, howl on top of his lungs. And he would become like, it was difficult to control him. He would cry, and, oh God, it was his tantrum, and we were having the trauma of those tantrums. So we tried several things, making him understand. He would understand. Again, after a few days, again the same thing would happen, and sometimes in a day 3-4 times he would throw this tantrum, and we didn't really understand only what was happening with the child. So one of the means a relative, I was just speaking to one of them, and they just happened to tell me that tell him to write it down, because he really likes writing things. So why don't you just ask him, what makes you angry, or what makes you cry, whatever. So we tried, and the list he wrote was, because my brother, he troubles me, because my mom says things that I don't like to hear, because my dad gets angry on me, and because my grandfather, he gets hyper for no reason. An 8-year-old child was writing this. But we also somehow could understand that there were several things that were, he was trying to control, he was trying to adjust to those things. But like then a small thing, a trivial thing like breaking of blocks would just, uh, just like break the bridge, like he would just start crying. But it was this build-up that the child was going through. So now we are also working on it, of not nagging so much and controlling apart from that. But this is why we want them to understand the way of communicating their feelings. You know, young children, of course, they won't sit and write, but when the child is crying, you can next, when the child has calmed down, is quiet, you can talk to the child and tell the child that, okay, what you are feeling right now, I know, of course, you were sad, but next time we can try to do this way to overcome your sadness or something like that. But we can give them the guidance after they experience it, and the next time they can try to apply it. Not during the time the child is crying. If we try to do that, it's not going to work. And I've tried that and tried and tested, and I've always failed miserably when I've tried to make my child understand when he's throwing the tantrum. Yeah, so I'm just telling you from experience. It, of course, empathy build it foundation for empathy, cooperation. It prepares the children to handle conflict, disappointment, frustration in a constructive manner, in a proper positive manner. कि ठीक है, I failed. Now I know what am I supposed to do. I need to learn my lessons and not crib over that and be stuck to that thing of that disappointment, which we need to help the children understand. Right now, the children really, really, really need to understand and handle their own conflicts because they are not able to do it. And it encourages, their self-regulation. They know when they have to wait for their turn. They know when they have to listen. They are regulating themselves. Yes. So this is why it is essential in preschool, EQ. Okay, some examples, of course, I've given you many, and here we go. So if a child says, I'm mad because you took my crayon, so he knows what he is feeling and why is he feeling that emotion. Yeah, he's aware of himself. Now, a child offers a toy to a crying friend. So they are empathizing that, okay, the child is also feeling bad. Child also knows that when you cry means you're feeling bad and you're crying. So they are putting themselves in their shoes. Emotional regulation, a child takes deep breaths after being upset. So this is something that the teacher has taught or the parent has taught earlier, that after this you need to calm down, and this is one of the ways to calm down is to take deep breaths, and the child is doing it. So they are regulating themselves. So this is what we want our children to do. We don't want to know the theories and theses of emotional intelligence, but we want these little things that will help them in the future. Of course, I didn't do an icebreaker activity today because emotional वो EQ को जाने बिना कुछ मतलब नहीं था for this session. So I wanted to give a proper time to EQ, like to understand what is emotional intelligence, what is empathy. Now, when we are doing this icebreaker activity, what we'll be doing is the icebreaker activity. This can be, of course, done in the classroom. I have given both the scenarios in this, so you get an idea. So ideally, what the concept is that you can recognize and experience the emotions through simple facial expressions. So of course, you're the teachers. We are not turning on the cameras or anything like that. But what you can do over here is, I want you all to select any one emoji that describes how you feel today in the chat box, and you can try to enact it yourself looking at that emoji. But in the class, you can ask the children to enact it. Like, you're happy, you're tired, you're excited, you're nervous, curious. So those things you can put it across in the chat box. Everyone else has to mimic that emoji expression. Don't show it to me. Don't do it on the camera. Basically, we are doing mirror, mirror on the wall. So there is if the child is showing a happy expression, everyone else will also, have to mimic that expression. If the child is saying that I'm tired, so everybody has to mimic that expression. So this is what we can do. If teachers, I want just 1 minute from all of you, and can we just share an emoji of what you exactly feel? See, like for instance, right now, this is how I'm feeling. So I shared it in the chat box. ठीक है? So now I want you all, if you're feeling sleepy, share. If you're feeling bored, please share. Just share whatever you all are feeling. So I know first and foremost that I've not made my teachers sleep, and secondly, I know how you all are feeling while attending this workshop or anything. Okay? So come on, teachers, how do you feel today? Come on, tell me. Okay, somebody's relaxed. Chalo, great. So yes, this is a cheerful bunch. Everybody is happy and relaxed. That's nice. What about others? I can see only few. Tell me. Only 30 seconds more, teachers. Come on. Yes. I'm not telling you to give me the answer or look out for a definition for what is EQ. I just want to know what is your EQ right now. Yeah, everybody is smiling. I thought somebody will say I'm sleepy. No. ठीक है, चलो, great, great. Okay. Yes. Okay, so thank you, teachers. Chalo, thank you. So I know that you all are awake and there's nobody who's sleeping. And let's go ahead. So you can do this kind of a thing with the children as children in the classroom. See, I've written, like you can ask in the class, ask the children to enact, and you can tell the others to mimic it. Yes. Now you can ask these questions, when you ask the children, you yourself can ask it, what did you notice first? The facial expression, the tone or a body language. Was it easy or hard to read the emotion? When you see people or when you, this exercise helps us also, when you're in a crowd and you're just looking around and you're seeing there are so many people. And typically in marriages, I like to see that, this person is getting bored. Yeah, this person looks excited. This person is sleepy, is tired. So, all this thing that we do. So you can also, just read the emotion and how might a young child show this feeling. If you're showing confused, how will a child show? So you can try this. It's nice. In the classroom, you can you can turn this into a daily circle time activity with children, like use printable emojis. You can show me a happy face, sad face, or you can ask them, guess the feeling, classmates to guess the feelings, guess the emoji and talk about it, that when did they feel that way. Like if you show them angry, you can ask them, when did you last feel angry? So they can share their discussion, they will express themselves and they'll understand also. Yes, teachers, you can ask the children regularly. In fact, you should that to name what they are feeling, name it. It should not only be happy. It can be, calm, relaxed. It can be like excited. It can be shocked, whatever, but it should be, you can ask regularly, try to keep it, once in a week, or you can give during circle time or everything, you can ask 3 or 4 children, divide the classroom that way, like during the circle time, ask those 4 children on Monday, the other 4 children on Tuesday. So you don't have to like use spend a lot of time, but all the children are should be asked about it, how they are feeling. Research shows that children with strong emotional skills do better in school and life. And teachers, we want to do that. Okay. So let's just do it. Now we have empathy building activities. Empathy is basically the heart of EQ. Because if the children understand themselves and others, I mean, if they care about others, to hi EQ develop hoga. Without that, EQ, there is no meaning for EQ otherwise, if they don't empathize with others. So, simple and effective activities for the classroom. I have not put in a lot of, as you all know, I don't put in a lot of things wherein, you have to make props or ye bana lo or wo bana lo. Trying to keep it as simple as possible. Do it your way. You are free to change it your way, but the purpose should be served. That's the only criteria that I have. First, have a children, pick up a feeling card or emoji and describe their mood during the circle time. This I remember I have actually put in a picture also. But when I was in the preschool, we teachers used to, we were assigned to decorate the doors of our classroom. So I had a teacher, she had put up, these pockets kind of a thing on the door with the name and the picture photograph of the child on each pocket. And she had put next to it, before the class would start, she would, outside the classroom door, she would keep a table. On table, she would keep a box which had ice cream sticks with the names of those children. Like only those ice cream sticks with the names and pictures initially. Once the children recognize the names, she removes the pictures. But then, so what the children were supposed to do is every time when they were entering the classroom, they had to pick up the emoji, whichever thing they wanted. No, I think what was it? 1 minute. Sorry, she had kept several different emojis, those sticks, like, happy and sad, angry, whatever. And then she used to, the children had to pick up and put it inside their own pocket, like what they were feeling. Sometimes the children would put, happy and sad both. Because this is how they felt in the morning, they were sad, and now they are happy to come to school. Or in the morning, they were sad to go to school. So, children would put up, but they were understanding. So this was a very good idea and very simple and nice idea, but the door looked superb. It became an interactive thing. So feelings check-in, you can do it, it teaches them, to understand the concept like happy, scared, and frustrated, excited, proud, like that way. Then you can do mirror, mirror. So one child makes a facial expression. It's the same icebreaker activity what we did. So others mimic it and then they have to guess the feeling. So without any props, children are going to be busy. Kindness basket. Children add tokens to kindness jar when they help or share. You can just keep a simple plastic jar and a bunch of buttons, big buttons, colorful buttons also. And they have to put in, if the child will come and they'll say, okay, I shared my toy with my younger sister, and they are allowed to put a button in that jar. So it will, they can enjoy that. It will be fun. Emotion puppets. Use puppets. I have one more activity lined up for puppets, so I won't go much about it. But you can use it for to help them connect and empathize. Okay? Walk in their shoes. So children take turns pretending to be someone else. So this is like bang on activity for empathy, because this is exactly what empathy is. Where walking in others' shoes and understanding their situation. So give them some like basically the new student, be like the new student. Where does the new student sit? How does the new student feel? Like try to pretend or understand and put it across. So they're empathizing, that's when they may realize, okay, the new student has no friends and they'll become their friend, something like that. Teachers, you need to do is, I wanted to know this, but let me see what is the time, because I tend to get carried away. What are some real moments where you saw empathy in your class? If you want to share, you can please do it in the chat box. Whatever you want to share. I will go through it at the end of the meeting. Okay, teachers? So the question is, what are some, have you seen any moments in the classroom among the children, or where, they are empathizing with each other, or a child is showing some kind of empathy? Okay, so I want that. You can think about it, but listen to what am I saying also. And if you wish to, please write it in the chat box. I would love to read it. Okay. You can also, I've also wanted to know this. We'll try to come back in the later on, if it's possible for us, that how can we create a safe space for children to talk about feelings, without being judged. As a mother, I would also say that sometimes I end up judging my own child. I end up passing a judgment right before understanding what he's trying to say. So it is very difficult as adults to not do it. Of course, we have to work on that. But how can we create a safe space for children to talk about their feelings? Yeah, see that door thing, what interactive, that emotion door thing, what that my colleague had done, that was superb. Like she could understand which child is feeling sad or happy or whatever, and the day went about like that. But they could express their feelings like that. So, any other ways if you have, please, please, please put it in the chat box. I would love to read it, because since you all are a little shy bunch who don't like to talk much, it's okay if you put it in the chat box. I have this interactive activity which I thought of. You can do it in the classroom with the children. It's feelings and friends. It's a puppet play. That's what I said, earlier, that I won't be talking about puppets much, because I want to it's coming up in the next activity. So in this, what the objective is, we want the children to identify, express and respond to different emotions. So here I've given you a basic outline of a simple story kind of a thing, which you can apply, you can modify, and you can do it whichever way you want. It is just like it's just like a little bit kind of a push or a guiding light. Okay. So how to conduct it in class? We need materials. So, we need 2 or 3 hand puppets. You can also make simple stick puppets. Take an outline of that particular puppet, like your I've taken bear, a bunny rabbit, and a monkey. So take a small picture image of it, and which emotion, which feeling is that particular animal portraying, and put it and stick it on an ice cream stick also is okay, depending on the strength of the children. Then emotion face cards. We want different emotion face cards which they can understand. So, okay, the bunny is sad, and this is how the emotion, this is how the face card, like this is how our face looks when we are sad. And a mini stage or a story corner, it's up to your creativity. See, like this. है ना, they are very cute, simple. ऐसा नहीं है that you have to do a lot. We had made sock puppets, and we had made so many different kinds of puppets, and it was a lot of hard work. We did a puppet story, and on a rabbit only. That's why I wrote bunny. But that was a lot of hard work. So I was trying to come up with ways, or where it is less taxing for you all. Okay. So here, now the first step is to introduce the puppets. So we can say, today we are going to meet some friends from the jungle, and they've come to meet you all, and they all are feeling different things. Like how we also, like, not, they are also feeling different things. It's okay. Then act out mini scenarios. So this bunny was happy when he was doing crayon coloring, but then he realized that he lost his favorite colored crayon. And look at him now. Now he is sad. Then we have the bear. So the bear is extremely angry today. And when somebody asked him why, he said because somebody took away his toy without asking. And of course, we will also feel angry. The monkey comes, the monkey is happy and jumping from one tree to another. He is happy because he feels good of doing something nice, that is sharing his snack with his friend. So you can talk about it like this, or in any way, anything that is relatable to your children, but you can enact these scenarios. So I just found these just for the thing. So then you can start asking, how do you think the monkey is feeling? Why is he feeling like that? The question why should come quite often. Like, why is the bear angry? What would you do? If you were angry like this, what advice can you give to the bear? What could we say to the bunny to make him feel even better? So we can do different questions as per the thing and ask the questions, prompt them. Then these are the two different ways you can include the children also. Let the children use puppets and create their own feeling story. Or you can give them cards, with emotion and ask them to act it out using the puppet. So I've just given you two things that, if you've made puppets, you can utilize it like this. These are some of the prompts that you can use and help the, yeah, you can just use it in the classroom. I've just added more prompts. What is the outcome for this? Of course, you'll know that they are recognizing emotions, they are understanding, they are learning the language to express those emotions, and they are able to connect to the rabbit, to the monkey, to the bear, and so that means they are empathizing, and without even knowing it. Okay, so this is just my breakup of things of how we can, if we are doing this particular activity in different grades. So if for play group, you need to use only two basic emotions, happy and sad. Don't use too many emotions, they are too young. And use very simple 3-line, 4-line stories. That's it. For nursery, match emotion cards to the puppet's expressions. So you can give this as an post the puppet show activity kind of a thing. Ask them to match it. For children in junior KG, you can tell them to act out what happens next in the puppet story. So do a puppet story, but then stop it midway. Ask the children to enact it. Senior KG, create a full short skit in small groups using emotion words. Let them enact, let them pretend, let them learn the dialogues and say it, and let them use those emotion words, and they'll understand themselves it better, because senior KG can do. Now, how to weave EQ into daily routines. Okay, this is the classroom integration where it starts. So in morning circle time, of course, I told you about the door. You can ask, how do you feel today? Board you can use pictures, mood charts for younger children. Then stories with emotion. Stories are the go-to props or learning aid in teaching aids when it comes to learning about stories. I mean, about emotions. Stories can do, and when you stop the story midway and ask the children about, how do you think the character felt in this, or what should the character do now, is the character doing the right thing, and they'll tell you. In a way, they are learning. Free play. During free play, keep an eye, see if there is a conflict among the children, then try to resolve it in a different way, then talk about it once in the classroom, as this is how the teacher resolved it, how else can we resolve it, kind of a way. Weekly feeling themes. So this week we are learning about disappointment. So we are going to tell them why do you feel disappointment, and how to help us to feel, how to ways to feel better. Okay, so they are understanding a different emotion. You can do it a monthly wise thing, but it will go on for a long time. So you can do two weekly or fortnight feelings theme, whatever. But you can do it. This is interesting. Huh? I like that thing. Calm corners, keep a cozy corner, where they have all those stuff, fidget tools बहुत काम आते हैं, keep those puppets, or keep the simple bubble wrap also that we get, and let them just sit and wrap it. If you see a child is agitated, let the child sit. Don't go and sit in the calm corner. It is not a punishment. Divert the child in such a way, give those things to the child or to the entire classroom, and see, help the child calm down. Give Play-Doh, give those squishy balls that come. It helps them self-regulate. This is emotion of the day board. So what the chart, what the door thing, what I suggested, this is what you can do it. See, like this. See, I found a similar one, but here she used this. Their names were on the ice cream sticks, and there were so many emotions put up. The other way around also can be done. Whichever way, it's your thing, but I really liked this idea. Then calm down corner, of course, why is it back again? Yeah, so here I found different things that you can put in these calm down corners, calm corners. So you can use, fidgets, glitter bottles, stress ball. Oh, that squishy thing, what I said. Then you can teach them some exercises, some mindfulness exercises, cozy sitting, and those, like a teddy bear to snuggle up to, a soft pillow, something like that. The headphones, no, we don't encourage. It's there, okay, but they are too young for headphones. Any new calming activities, give them some coloring, sketching. Just keep it around. So let them take it and do it, kind of, that way. Morning feeling circle. How do you feel today? You can ask in the mornings. Kindness jars, which I just mentioned. So you can do it, in a different way. In fact, I remember my sister, while just talking to you all, my sister has this habit. She did it earlier. Now I don't remember. I need to ask whether she's still doing it or no. But when the year starts, like on January 1, she would take a jar. She loved decorating stuff, so she would decorate it and do something. And then she said that whenever she did something that made her happy or she would put 10 rupees in that jar. So, and she wanted to see by the end of the year how many things that made her happy. Yeah, so you need to be consistent, but it is helpful for us as also as adults, and you can do it in the classroom, as I mentioned, for buttons, or you can hear they've done pom poms and anything you can do. Story time, of course, stories, they work the best to teach them empathy, and there are many stories available. In fact, from any story that you pick up, you can put in that angle. Pass the emotion basket. So I think I have an image. So when do you feel proud? How do you feel help a friend who is sad? Ask them those questions. Let each teacher, here I wanted you all to do it, but since the time is running out, I have not prepared the thing. But yeah, this thing now, emotion basket, se yaad aaya. There is this particular movie, Inside Out. There are two parts of these movies. So, and trust me, it is all about feelings and emotions. This is like, all the characters, their names are also like that. So when you see on that movie poster, the one crying is uh, sadness, the other one is joy, anger, jealousy, and anxiety or fear or something. And they have two parts of the movie, and it is like a must watch for us adults and also children. If you have children at home, or if you have children in senior KG or any grade, first grade, second grade, do show it to them. Do show it to them. So that you can use those emotion baskets, and those figurines also here they've used to express their emotions. Real life conflicts, are teachable moments as to model naming emotions. ठीक है, ये मैंने सिर्फ summarize किया है. Now phonics integration. Phonic integration, I won't may take much time, thoda hi hai. Come on. So in playgroup, use the best in playgroup. Of course, it's songs and rhymes that are the most you can connect with, and try to put in those kind of songs wherein there are emotions or the words involved. Like, if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. So you can, in this song only, you can show them so many different emotions. Like if you're angry and you know it, stomp your feet. If you're surprised and you know it, jump up high. If you're sad and you know it, then cover your face. Anything. So you can do these with the playgroup children. You can, of course, do it with different grades also. But I am giving what I thought most applicable to each grade. Nursery, when they know F, here they know F is for feelings. Like, if your F is for fan, F is for frog, F is for feelings also you can do when you're doing letter F. And then sort those feelings. Tell them to sort, that simple sorting activities you can make them do. And where they are understanding, okay, all the happy faces will go together, all the sad. So this you can work on that. For junior KG, match emotion words to pictures. Like, you can do rhyming also, and you can match it with this also. Like, I'm mad, I'm glad, and I'm sad. You can use it this way. Senior KG, create short stories. I felt excited when I went for cycling in the hills, and read it aloud. So they can associate that this particular activity made me happy. You can ask the children also to do it. You can help them with the spellings or ignore, and mostly totally I would say this, ignore the spellings right now, but see what they are trying to express over there. Emotion themed games. Now I've again put it like this. This is grade wise. I think some of them have two of those. Feeling flashcards. So show it to them. The children have to enact it. Like ye damsharads jo hum khelte hai. So do it with them, like this. I think I have put in feelings charades or something. Feeling space puzzles. So you can also in fact make uh, 3-piece, 6-piece, 7-piece puzzles. I think three pieces should, or 4 pieces should fit in for playgroup. Initially two. So let them join it. Like a happy emoji hai. So cut it into two parts. Let them join it and make it, feeling that way. Sorry. Nursery. Emotion dice. Roll a cube with emotions and act it out. So I have this game somewhere. I tried searching, I couldn't get it. And then I also forgot to search it again. But it has this colorful cube, and they have different cards. Like each cube has a different color, like pink, yellow, green, blue, and all those colors. And they have those cards also, like, I think 8 cards of each color. So now when the child rolls the dice, if it's green, so in green, they have to do a jumping activity, like anything physical activity, like, tap your shoulders 3 times, 5 times, they would just say some stuff. In blue, it is like, enact like an animal. In red, when somebody rolls the dice red is when show emotions, wherein they will, they'll show us your happy face, uh, enact, show us your scared face, and talk about it, that when you felt scared last time, something. So they have these emotion dice is like only restricted to that. Here, what I had was, it had many different things. So it was nice. It's a nice game. With the dice, it works. Emotion toss. Toss a ball, child names and acts and emotion. So toss a ball hai, toss a bean bag hai, toss it. And then the child has to enact and show it. Whatever way you can do it, your modification. Junior KG teacher gives scenarios and the child answers. What would you do? So give them a short story and ask them, what would you do? So let the child understand, let the child express self-regulation, what we say. Kindness bingo. Spot kind acts and mark them on the card. Let's say I've put in, I think. Yeah. So if you say, I said good morning to the teacher, put a sticker there. Um, punching someone, so we'll not put a sticker there. Made friends, yes, I will put a sticker there. So this is like, like that. So it's the fun. Feeling charades, what I said, use role play to guess the emotions, enact it. Right. Yeah. So guess the emotion, others will guess and the child. So Damsharaj, what we play. Okay. So teachers, here we've come to the conclusion of this thing. Any doubts, anything, please put across. And also those questions which I had asked earlier, please, it would be great if you can share something about it. Yes, teachers. See, I tried to finish it. Any feedbacks, anything you would like to share?
Hi, this is Suparna from Petals Mount Preschool. I like this
Yes, good
session
afternoon.
because it's really important, like when we are handling the kids. Because sometimes we see so many challenging kids, like when taking the classes, we find that some students are very arrogant, maybe some students are very naughty. So this session is really helpful for each and every teacher so that we can handle the teachers the way you
The
have
children.
mentioned it.
Yeah. Yes, yes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much for the session.
This is basically the need of an hour. We need our children to connect to their emotions, their and empathize. Empathy is something which is sadly just ignored or pushing away. So we don't want that to happen. And let's just see. This is our bit to let it keep it among our children and let them grow with it. So yes, thank you so much. Yes.
Hello, ma'am. This is Sharvani
Yes,
from
yes.
Petals Mount.
Yes.
I have
Good
one
afternoon. Yes.
question. I do have a
Hmm.
student.
Hmm.
She's a little bit lazy.
Hmm.
Whenever we teach her, her mind always fluctuates. So,
Hmm.
how will you handle such kind of children?
So
Can you give me
what?
a honest feedback?
Yeah, sure. So basically, the child, when you're teaching the child in the classroom,
Yes.
the child is not paying attention, right?
Yes.
And gets distracted means it
Very
distracts.
easily. Yeah, very easily.
So, okay. So, you know what? First and foremost, you can try is this is just from my experience, what I'm telling you here. You can give some responsibility to the child. Like,
Okay.
once I'm done, you listen to me. Once I'm done, and when I say this particular sentence, you have to come and you have to give me this book over here to me. So what happens? The child is like holding it on, or they are like, trying to listen. Okay, when is the teacher going to say? So we want them to listen to us, right?
Yeah.
Then also you can also try is, you know, before starting the session, if the child is, usually restless and wants to just, do certain things but not listen, give some physical activity kind of a thing, like where they have to jump 10 times or, remove, like pull out those excess energy and then let the child settle down. The child is little tired, to sit, then to distract or to do anything else. If they are not paying attention, in the conversation when you're talking, for example, like I would like to tell you that A is for apple and then call out the child's name. Don't point it out. Like, randomly just say, if the child's name is Anaya. So like, Anaya, B is for ball. So then the child is again brought back into the thing
Class.
and you're not stopping the class also. I mean, the
Okay.
lesson also.
Uh-huh. And how do you convey the same thing to the parents? But because most of the parents who can't take it, and they
Yeah.
will tell, my child is very sweet girl, and all those things. So how will you convey this message to the parents? And the reaction of the parents will be like humongous.
It's they are in the denial mode most of the time. Of
Yeah.
course, it is they also get little, they are also a little scared of these things, okay, what if somebody's there and they don't want to accept it. Of course, it takes time. We can't blame them also, but what you can do is you can try the parent to say that, give some calming activities or something where the focus is there. Just help her out because she is an intelligent child and we want to utilize her capabilities to the most. So why not we give that, abhi a distracted bacha hai. So give her some kind of extracurricular activities where they have to follow the rules. If they don't, the child will get stuck. For example, chess hai or any other physical activity like mental act, anything, but wherein there are rules that the child has to follow and the child have to listen to those rules to follow.
Okay. Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
So
Thank
try
you.
to pet, like just cushion it for the parents and then say.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
ठीक है. Yes, yes. Thank you so much. Yeah. So I think we are done overall over here. Yeah. Any other questions? Anything? I'm there still like for some time. I'm there. Just I'll turn off the camera. You let me know whenever you wish to. I'm there for next 5 to 10 minutes, 5, 7 minutes. Any doubts, anything, please, please, please let me know. It is, you know, I really enjoy to, and I really like conversing with the teachers and, understanding what their challenges are, so we know what next we need to work on. Okay? So anything else, please do let me know. I'm right here. Any feedback, anything is welcome. Otherwise, you can leave the meeting if you wish to. If there is anything, the team will get in touch with you all. Okay, have a good day, teachers. I'm ending the meeting now, and we'll see you soon.
किया ना